tripartite relationship between democracy, the judiciary, and which represent the rule of law, and the agents of state, which is the police, charged with enforcing laws as well as maintaining law and order in the society, has never been more needed than now. Where there is a breakdown, interference, gagging, or even a deliberate attempt to weaken any of these institutions spells doom for their efficient and effective professional delivery. In recent years, neither the judiciary, the police, nor even democracy have been spared from public and, in some cases, courtroom challenge and trials. Increasingly also, we've seen Nigerians questioning the objectiveness, independence, and sometimes relevance of some of these institutions. The question tonight is, our democracy, our judiciary, and our police on trial. What more can we do as a nation guided by law and principle to strengthen democracy, the judiciary, and the police to continue to serve Nigeria without fear or intimidation? Joining me to speak on this is a constitutional lawyer, Mr. Kabir Wakibulu. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on Politics Tonight. We're back here to talk about Nigeria. Exactly. But let's start this way, because currently some states are in political chaos, either because one arm of government, is at loggerheads with another, or the three arms of government at different intervals are looking for ways to knock out the other. In Rivers State, for instance, it is the legislature versus executive. In Benue State, it's the legislature / executive versus the judiciary. In Lagos, it was the legislature fighting itself. Do you agree with those who say the rule of law currently bows to political interests?
Well, first of all, we have to ask the question and agree on a point. Are we in democracy? If the answer is yes, then are all the tenets of democracies being observed or being practiced? But the simple answer is,
so are we
not in democracy at all. We are in civil rule.
Okay.
Not pretend, we're civil rule. At least we are out of the gag of the military, and they are not coming back again. However, we need to manage this democracy very well. Otherwise, there will be issues. But all the tenets of democracy, the first thing is equality before the law. When you talk of rule of law, you have independence of the judiciary, equality before the law, and separation. We have separation of power, and so on and so forth. But at this the law that guides Mr. A in Nigeria is not the law that seems to guide Mr. B. Because even in the application of the law at times, you get discouraged. You don't even know what is even next. So when you look at it very well, one of the problems that we have, you have mentioned it well, is a very well-chosen topic. The judiciary, the police, then the democracy. And you can't practice democracy if you are a farmer. You can't practice it if you are a lawyer, except you are a politician. And the politicians, how far have they fared well? They have not been too fair to and too nice to Nigerians. And again, we, the followers too, sometimes we cause some of the problems that are happening because we demand so much from the politicians in a funny way. You are not saying, oh, we have voted for you, we want you to construct road. They are not interested in that. Majority of the people, they want money. You are a politician, your constituents, half of the constituent wants you to give them money. They are not even interested in schools. They are not interested in roads. They are not interested in other infrastructure. So where will you now blame them? They know, oh, it's only if I give you this, this will be it. So there is no accountability to the people because they always buy them over with money. Judiciary, there is no independence. The Constitution designs the judiciary to be independent. They want it, actually when you talk about independence, they want fiscal autonomy. That is, monetary autonomy. They should determine their own budget. They should spend their money. They should, know how to do it and so on and so forth. But is it happening in Nigeria? And where the executive will still approve money for the judiciary, how then do you want them to perform optimally? Because it is said, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. This is exactly what is happening. So if you want to blame the judiciary, it's like the hunchback man who said you are only looking up, you are not looking down. The wobbleness of his statue is from the posture. You understand? So you have to go to the drawing board. If you give judiciary the independence and they are not now performing, you can now blame them. And I can say, as it is today, you can judiciary, well, I can give them past more than the two other arms of government, but they are not still, according to the way it's supposed to be. Because to have judicial power is not only to possess that power, to be able to use it. You shouldn't be able to back alone. You must be able to bite. Orders of court are being disobeyed. What has the court done? Sometimes you even file from 48. Oh, disobedient to court orders. Even the court itself will treat it with disdain. They will not even look at it. What happens if a court gives an order and says, arrest the commissioner of police if he's not obeying the law? Arrest the colonel if he's not obeying the law. Arrest the lawyer if he's not obeying the law. Arrest anybody. But when they do it, even in Nigeria, you see people coming out to say, oh, how can you do that? We have seen a situation in this country where the law enforcement agents think or thought that, okay, we have a reasonable ground to arrest some judges. What happened next? People started casting, you can't arrest a judge like that. There shouldn't be any difference in arresting anybody suspected to have committed crime until Nigeria stop the practice or idea of saying this is a thief but it's our thief, leave him alone. Nigeria cannot move forward. Somebody has stolen money, you give him chieftaincy title. Oh, it's a Yoruba man. Oh, it's an Ijaw man. Oh, it's an Hausa man. No, it shouldn't be so. If somebody is a thief, call him a thief and let people know.
Great that you went that way, and it looks like we may have to mash up different issues tonight for us to have an answer.
Yes.
So we'll come back to the independence of the judiciary, but I want us to talk about the thorny issues in separation of powers in Nigeria and the implication for democratic consolidation. What are the issues? How do you evaluate it vis-a-vis the imbalance of the practice of separation of powers?
Yeah, the imbalance is, first of all, there cannot be balance where the judiciary is under the, is tied to the apron string of the executives. You make the law, you implement the law, you still control the judge. You want the judge to give a particular, judgment at the order. But I have seen, I think under Ibrahim Babangida, a judge in Lagos State gave an order and the military was not going to obey the order. The judge resigned. Those are the days when there was rule of law. But these days, who is standing up to principle? Nobody. Everybody wants to, oh yes, if we can't beat them, you join them. If this is our attitude, we cannot get anywhere. Let the executive know the extent of their rights. Let the judiciary also know that, oh, we have the right to do this and we must do it. We don't want to know whose ox is God. We will do what is right. We will do what is fair. We will do what is nice and what is lawful. Do you understand? And the police is another problem. Again, today, are you aware? When we talk about division or separation of power, are you aware that even when a court has given its judgment, it cannot be enforced except you use the police? By now, the court should have its own sheriffs who can have the power, who are not under the control of the commissioner of police or the inspector general of police, who can enforce court judgment. Without that one, when you have gotten a judgment now, they say, oh, this house is your own or this property is your own, go and take it and all that. You can't go and take it, you have the court judgment. You will now do a letter to the commissioner of police for approval. It can take 1 week, it can take 2 weeks, it can take 3 weeks. So if he's interested, he can refuse to sign it until that person will go and file appeal or frustrate that judgment. At the end of the day, you still need police permit. When the police has approved your petition, you need police support. We call support. It. They will follow you to ensure, okay, oh yeah, this is the house. Pack your things out. This is the owner of the house. That is when you can now have access to it. Something that the court has given to you. Is that separation of power? No, it cannot.
Perhaps that's why we're having this conversation. Because separation of powers for someone that sounds like a facade, sounds like something that is artificial and new to us and may not stand if we don't put our foot on the ground. But I want you to speak to the relationship between the three arms of government. How do we smoothen it?
Yeah, the only way we can smoothen the three arms of government,
the relationship between the three arms of government.
The relationship is everybody has his own right under the law, right? So if this right is there, then it must not exceed the limits. There are limits to everything. So when these limits are, if you go beyond this limit, then there is no, you can go further. However, there is interrelationship amongst the various arms of government, because without you, one cannot function alone.
Permit me. I want us to practicalize it, putting into consideration what is currently happening in Benue State and River State.
Now, in River State, for instance, we have, the executive is there, the governor, headed by the governor. The legislature is there, headed by the Speaker of the House. However, there was a quagmire in the House or in the leadership of the House. There were misunderstandings and some other misgivings and all that. People were saying, oh, they have the camp, they have not the camp. I was one of the people that argued that, no, the camping cannot be by just mere conduct. It can't be verbal. You must go to your ward. Oh, I want to decant to LCP party or ZDP party or Z party. You go back to your ward in your village or in the town where you live and say, well, I want to join this political party. When you have done that, then you will register your membership. That is when you have decant. But to just say on the floor of the other, no, it cannot be. Do you understand? So, in practical aspect, like in Rivers State now, there is the survivor game or superiority game. Oh, the executive has the power. Oh, I will not succumb to this. They are not thinking about the well-being or welfare of the people. You should think about them first because they were the one that voted you to power. Why should you now come and be saying, oh, you want to you want to just be in the house. You want to just be the governor. You are not performing. 2 years down the line, it is still, they are embroiled in all this, conflicts here and there. It is not supposed to be so. Unfortunately, even though the Constitution has made provision for recalling the legislators if they are not performing very well, the procedure is too cumbersome. You cannot even achieve it. Once you have voted them there, they are already there, except they finish that tenure. Do you understand? It's only the leadership of the house that can punish them. Although the leadership of the house, for instance, says you can only suspend a member for 14 days. But they will suspend you indefinitely. There is nothing you can do except you come and beg. If you don't do the begging game, the court of law. Yes, if you don't come and beg, even when the court of law has given order, they will not obey it. Okay. What has the court been doing? For instance, there is a court order in Natasha Apoti's case in National Assembly. What has the court done? For disobeying his order, you give the order an order the next day. You arrest the Senate president. Without any apology. It's a court order. In America, the court order is very effective. In UK, court order is very effective. In all over Europe, where we always run there when we want to do something, but we say in America, in Europe, but when some good things that they are doing, we will not follow it here. It's unfortunate. Do you understand? A governor of a state must know that, first of all, I owe allegiance to the Constitution which I have sworn to defend. The legislator too should think like that. The judge should also do that and have the fear of God there. Although they say morality and law has no relationship, what is just and fair may not be the position of the law. However, in River, it's an aberration. In Lagos State, you can see aberrations playing out. People are not loyal. You are not even thinking about the people at all. It's about their pocket. It's about their political influence that they can exert on the people. That is what they do, and it is very unfair. If we are talking about ideal democracy, what is happening in Rivers State also,
there is a conversation, ongoing conversation about whether or not the governor can remove the sitting judge, state judge.
The governor cannot remove a sitting judge. It is not possible under our law. A judge can be removed if you follow the procedure. The office of a judge, they have security of tenure. Once they have been appointed as a judge or as chief judge or whoever, once you are a judge, you cannot just be removed like ordinary civil servant. If you have committed an offense, then if the allegation has been laid to the House of Assembly, the House of Assembly will look at the allegation. Are these allegations proven prima facie? If they look at the allegations, then there will be an address by not less than 2/3 of the House to say, okay, the allegation of misconduct against this judge is established. And they forward it to the necessary quarters for removal of the judge. But a governor cannot just sit down and say, I'm removing this judge. It will be completely illegal. And it is unacceptable because the Constitution has laid down the ways of removing a judge. And again, enough of all these interests of governors in appointment of judges. A judge, most of the time, will belong to a profession that has ethics and ethos. We follow it. You understand? We have conduct that guides us. You will be a lawyer before you can be a judge. If you are a judge, there are rules. And most of the time, they appoint the most senior person, the most senior judge. But in a bit distant past, at least like around 2000, early 2000 till around 2010, 11, the governors started practicing something. They will not pick the most senior person. They will go to the back, like number 5, number 6, so that whatever they say is what the judge will say. Because somebody who is not thinking of becoming a chief judge in 10 years is now senior to all his seniors. Is now the leader of all his seniors. So the NJC said, no, this is an aberration. We will not allow it again. Right. So this is what you have.
All right, Mr. Akimbolu, let's go on a break. And a very fundamental question tonight is our democracy, our judiciary, and our police on trial. What more can we do as a nation guided by law and principle do to strengthen democracy, the judiciary, and the police to continue to serve Nigeria without fear or intimidation? On the program with me tonight is Mr. Kabir Akimbolu, a constitutional lawyer. Thank you so much for staying with us on the program. You know, when the 10th Senate was inaugurated, one of the key items on the agenda was smooth legislative executive relationship to foster democracy. How will you say this has been pursued? And for Nigerians who equate this with being rubber stamped, any correlation?
Yeah, there is correlation, you know, and when you look at it very well, you know, where I look at the National Assembly, the way we run the most expensive democracy in the entire world. You understand? And even you can't even justify what, you know, the emoluments of the National Assembly to start with. In a country where now, from 33,000 now to 70,000 minimum wage, can you justify a situation whereby, let us go practical? Senator Shehu said, people are just shouting that our money is much, we're only collecting 30 million naira per month. 30 million naira, when I calculated with my little arithmetic, shows that a senator is receiving 433,000 naira per day. A professor in the university is receiving around 350, 400 naira per month. A professor who has put in about 35 years. You understand? But this is per day, 433,000. And Lamido Sanusi, the Emir of Kano, sometimes said that the senators receive an amount like that can pay 200,000 to 90 graduates, or that can pay 90,000 to 200 graduates, whichever way you look at it. So when you look at it, it is too terrible. There is no how we can go forward. Or if we can try to start something by making legislation a part-time job.
Is that realistic for a country like Nigeria?
It is realistic. It's only when, but you know, governance does not take much to do. If you are so sure that you want to make changes. I've asked this question
once, and I think we've spoken about it. Is democracy expensive, or because we made it so? We made it so. That's what I'm saying. Because when in those days, Obasanjo, I will say this: the facts are there. When he came, he had the golden opportunity to put Nigeria on the right pedestal for us to go on well. He started some unfriendly policies that makes things to turn around. In those days, when the National Assembly members are going in, the cars are already there. The houses are already there. House of Assembly, they are going in, the cars are already there. The houses are already there. There are drivers already. Just like when you go to school, they will just assign cars to you, they will refurbish it and you start driving. But when you just came, you take your car, you go away. When in another 4 years, if some people have been in the house since 1999, they have been receiving new cars every 4 years. New cars of millions, hundreds of millions, every 4 years. The houses where they live, they have sold it out to their cronies. So there is nothing anybody can do again. So with this one, how will there be? How will the government not be too expensive? In the National Assembly, even the official quarters of the Speaker of the House of Reps, the official quarters of the Senate President, just sold it to them at very paltry sum. Upon legislative quarters sold out. The same after 1,004 flats here, they sold everything out. Why? How can we now manage the democracy? So when you look at it, there is no. It's only the leader. When the leader is serious and very concerned and very dedicated, and say, "Okay, I am determined." But first of all, you purge yourself of all iniquities. If you are saying, "Oh, let us make this thing right," you start from yourself. If you can't start from yourself, you know, like the Bible says, remove this in the book of Matthew, remove the speck in your brother, in your and that's why you hear Nigerians say we sacrificed a lot. This time, this sacrifice must start from the top.
It was said from the top. At a point, the National Assembly said, "Oh, we will sacrifice it." But when you go on that, they are taking that money back somewhere. Under Obasanjo, the issue of furniture allowance came, and they demanded for 3.5 for Senate, 2.5 for Rep. The whole Nigeria, you know, kicked against it. It was one Mr. Aluko, Senator Aluko, that made us to know later. The only PDP senator from the southwest then, that said, "No, we took 5 million." After several years, Nigerians never knew. So let me tell you, how do you begin to rationalize this? The National Assembly must be serious to say, oh, we want to make law. A lot of policies have gone there. There are a lot of things that are going on that are supposed to check. They will tell them, oh, don't do it. Like in your news earlier, you say, oh, they said, don't increase the tariff of ATM and all that. You will see that this thing will not go beyond that. They will call the banker. They will say, oh, other oversight functions, we are doing this, we are doing that, and nothing will happen. And that is a very critical role. We should praise the honorable that raised it, but at the end of the day, they may not do anything, because when you go to ATM, you will not find any money. Go to 10 banks, you will not find any money. But go to POS, you get the money. Meet note, you will not get it in the bank. Go to those who are hawking it, you will get it. Who are those giving them? They are not going to ghost market to get it. That is part of corruption. Those are the things our National Assembly should be fighting. They will not fight it. At the end of the day, by the time they increase the money to be paid for ATM, you start getting money from all banks. It has happened. It's happening. If you go to ATM now, you get money there, unlike before, when that money is not being paid. So these are the things that our legislators should do for us. Check the executives very well and let it happen. And the police is another ball game. In Nigeria
we'll get to the police in a moment, but let's go back to an earlier submission you made. You talked about the era of conflicting orders by court of coordinate jurisdiction, which has even reappeared recently. Last year was quite chaotic. And about a month ago, we saw what happened regarding the Osun State local government election, which we talked about on this program. How worrisome is it that we cannot at this moment address this malpractice fundamentally, which has continued to dent the image of the judiciary?
I think one of the problems that we have here, the judiciary is trying its best, is still the best in from the three arms of government. However, they are not doing enough, or their best is not good enough. The NJC, once a judge has given an order and that, oh, the status quo balloon must be maintained. Oh, this person says is the owner of this house. Before we determine who the ownership is, don't pull down the house. Let the house be there. Then we'll look into it. And the next day, a judge will give an order and say, go and pull down the house. Once they do that one, such judge should not be on the bench. It should be removed immediately without any much ado. Because a corrupt judge is a cause to the system, is worse than armed robber. Because there is no how. We look at some of these things. They are fantastic judges, many of them, very fantastic. Only few are bad eggs. But the bad eggs are spoiling the good ones. Because you can't continue this way where there will be completing order. Somebody will give an order in the morning that Mr. A is the candidate. And in the afternoon, another person will give another order and say, Mr. B. I could remember one governor in the southeast now. The order that made him governor today, it made him a candidate of the party he won today. He went to get it in Kano. He left the southeast to go and get it in Kano. Somebody from the southeast went to Gombe, to go Kebbi, to go and get his own order. And when we have what they call territorial jurisdiction, it's very unfortunate. Even in election matters, we are doing it. The same politician will come and write petition and say, oh, this state is not safe. Let us move the tribunal to Abuja. Under what law? These are the malpractices that people are undergoing that is not too good. It is affecting us.
But really, are these challenges insurmountable? Because the vision of the CJN is to have a better judiciary. What exactly is the issue that we cannot deal with?
The issue is this, firmness. The judiciary is trying its best. The politician also, politicians are very wise. When you bring this ideology or this policy, they will go back to the drawing board and find a way to frustrate it. Look at the essence. For instance, in Rivers State, how can somebody, a governor, in the normal way, how can you say 4 is greater than 27? How can somebody present a budget to 20, to 4 members out, 4-member House of Assembly? When the Constitution says the quorum of the House of Assembly shall be 1/3. You understand? We have 30 or 31 members in the Rivers State House of Assembly. The quorum should be 10. And you are presenting a budget to 4. Governor Obaseki did it for 4 whole years in Edo State. He ruled with 9 members and he went away with it. Who will you blame? They filed about 4 or 5 suits. He ensured that none of the suits came to be heard. None of them was heard. Did we not have the chief judge there? What was the NJC doing that they cannot query such a judge, the chief judge of Edo State? What? Those judges should be sacked and dismissed. They are not good for the system. They are good judges and all that. You can see the present chief judge of Nigeria is doing a lot to resuscitate the system. The same thing with the immediate past CJN. You understand? They are doing a lot. They are changing the law to make the process of judicial legislation or judicial process to be faster. But as they are doing it, mind you, the politician will go one way and start planning their own way to frustrate those things. It's not that the judges don't want to work, but the system itself will work against you. And as long as you don't have fiscal autonomy, if the power to spend money, you have to go camping and begging the governor before you can spend 1 naira. You have to go camping and going to the president before you can spend 1 naira. I think there's a big problem. It will be
so before we get to the judges, there are legal practitioners. Does it embarrass you? So that's the question. Does it embarrass you that there are some of your colleagues out there who are out to embarrass the profession? Yes,
there are a lot of them.
So what must we do?
Even as a lawyer, you will even meet them in cases that you handle. You'll be doing cases, you see them doing some unprofessional things. But at times, even when you report them or you write petition, you see even some judges will even look at you as an irritating fly, trying to distort what is not. You understand? Or a medicine interloper, what's your own business?
For them to say it's about the money.
Do you understand? To those people, there are some people who are in the profession just to make money. They don't want to care about what the rule of professional conduct say. It's one of the best professions in the world because we have rules, we have discipline. It should be so, but they are not so. They don't act so. You see some people doing some more professional things and you can only shake your head. You can only shudder and pity the system. What do? A loner.
And I think I'm more concerned because I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But what must we do now to restore the prestige of the legal profession in Nigeria?
One of the things we can do is that any judges or lawyers should be flushed out of the system. We have the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, but many people don't know anyway that you can make your lawyer lose his wig and gown. You can make your lawyer to lose his license. But people will not report. They say, you can't fight a lawyer. You can fight a lawyer. If your lawyer has collected your money as a client and he has spent it, you report to NBA. NBA will take it or they don't take it lightly. I trust them for that. The judges too, even there are situations that the judge will see some lawyers doing some unprofessional things. They will make a recommendation that the NBA should go and try this lawyer. This lawyer is a shame to the profession. And in so many cases, it has helped the system. But the NJC should go further too.
So talking about the NJC, do you agree that the method for recruiting judges is nepotistic and political? It
is political, it is nepotistic, and sometimes also favoritism is there. Do you understand? Most of the time they talk of geographical spread, sometimes they talk of religious inclination and so many other things. It shouldn't be so. Pick the best people. Don't just do things on mere sentiment. Do you understand? The best candidate may not be from the popular quarters. Let him be. In those days, that's what it used to be. But in the days we are now, there are influences. You know, sometimes I think in appointment of the judges, the NJC will do their own. I have seen a state recently where the NJC has picked the CJ and the governor refused to swear him in. And the man is still acting now. You understand? The governor refused to swear him because the person he preferred was not the one that was preferred, but that was nominated by the NJC. And you know the constitution goes here and there. And again, another problem is this. We need the amendment to the constitution that will make the chairman of the NJC to be the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Because
say that again.
We need the amendment to the constitution so that the chairman of the NJC will not be the Chief Justice of Nigeria. And the chairman of the JSC, Judicial Service Commission of the state, which is the counterpart, should not be the Chief Justice of the state. The difference is this. For instance, in the past, there was a CJN that was allegations were leveled against him, about 2 or 3 of them. We have the Onoge, allegation was leveled against him. We have Tanko. Tanko has to resign. Fantastic move, you know, honorable move. He resigned and went away. Onoge said, no, I'm going to that. If you set up the committee to deal with him, is the National Judicial Committee of the Council, you understand, which is the NJC. The NJC is headed by the CJN. Now the CJN is on trial. Who will bear the cat? This is where the problem lies. But Adebi is a retired justice or somebody who was a judge of somewhere and all that, or a lawyer of reputable character or integrity, then they can say, oh, we are trying you. But the chairman is the one you want to try here. He's the owner of the panel.
Oh, I see.
And most of the time, even the vice chairman will be loyal to him. And they will, oh, we have to back ourselves. We cannot allow him to be put to shame. So it is the system against system now. There is nobody outside the system to try and look into what the system has done wrong or what was wrong with the system. So it is, how can you do that? You be a judge in your own cause. It's impossible. You can't find.
So don't you also think stiffer consequences for erring judges may make the difference? That's
what I'm saying. We have seen under Buhari especially, so, I can count like
let's put it into proper perspective. At the moment, what's the consequence for any error?
The consequences is this: if there is no dire consequences, then there is nothing. There is dismissal, there is suspension. Do you understand? Yeah. Sometimes you can be suspended for a very long time. You can be dismissed, or then you can be retired. Okay. Early retirement. But I've seen under President Buhari, for example, where some people were recommended for dismissal. For dismissal. Okay. The man, Buhari did not sign it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they went to court later. They reinstated them back. There are a lot of them on the bench today who have been reinstated back after the NJC have recommended them for dismissal. They will recommend to the governor. They will recommend to the president. The president refused to sign. They are back on the bench. They are sitting today. They are still giving orders. But let us say what is fair. Judiciary today has tried to save Nigeria democracy to a very large extent because the politicians will conduct their primaries in a very shoddy manner. They go back to court. In 2015 or thereabout, it was alleged that the pre-election matters were run to about 1,500 and something. We almost got it right in 2007 under Yaradua, because he came to power and said, like I said the other time, he said, I know that the president that brought me to power was not perfect, and we will work on it. And that year, less than 500 petitions, I think about 405 petitions, less than 1,000 petitions were throughout Nigeria. Unlike under Obasanjo in 2003, 2007, there were over 5,000 petitions were filed across the country. So these are the ways to go about it.
Indeed, we still have a long way to go. But let's talk about police corruption, which is another issue. Almost from the beginning of former policing in Nigeria, corruption of law enforcement officers have been a fact of life. So for you, why is policing so susceptible to bribery and other forms of corruption?
You see, if we talk about the corruption of police from now, if we start now, we will not finish the next year. Because you see, without apology, the evidence is there. Anybody who wants to challenge it, we have facts and figures, we have judgments and all that. The most corrupt institution in Nigeria is the police. The most immoral is the police. No, we have judgments. Like, for instance, we have bad eggs. They are good police officers.
Bad eggs everywhere.
They are good police. And let me tell you something before we go on. Nigeria police is one of the best in the entire world. But when government, if they go to outside Nigeria, if they go outside Nigeria for peacekeeping and some other things, they come with laurels. They come with, they perform outstandingly. When they come home, no, you can't score them 10 over 100 because they come home, you see the opposite of what they did outside the country. Why? Because the system is bad. The system allowed for corruption. There are porous, there are holes there. For instance, people like Abba Kyari, people were praising him. If the president or governor enters the House of Assembly of the state, the legislators don't stand up for the governor. If the president enters the National Assembly, the legislators don't stand up for the president to show you how important the place is. They gave Abba Kyari a standing ovation, saying this, is that. I have been fighting him since 2014. I've been writing so many petitions. I even got judgment against him. This man robbed my client, collected for 2 million naira for him, shot him, took him to the bank, asked him to unfreeze his money and transfer to his own account. I took the matter to court. When I got to court, we got judgment against him. Till today, he has not paid that money. They set up NSAS panel. I took him there. NSAS panel backed him up. So everywhere, they are backing him. This is one example. But when God will catch him, he did it openly. He was still even under trial. He committed another offense. This is to tell you that most of the people that we are praising in police or anywhere, they are one of the worst criminals that we can have. So
is this about welfare? Because, IGP Egbetoku, for instance, upon assumption of office, says he met a battered force.
That I know, pay them 1 million naira per month. If the system is not overhauled, you will continue to get it, because you can apply the same principle and get a different result.
Absolutely.
Until we are ready to do things. How many, like Egbetoku is saying, many before him have said that. It's just like the palm front. When he came up new, he said he's going to touch the sky. Those who have gone before, because they have become relaxed upon. Let me tell you, every IGP in this country, for example, have come and said, oh, stop roadblock, stop this. Have they stopped it? Go from here to, in Lagos is fine, Ogun State I think is fine. Go from Osun State to Ekiti State to Kwara. Those 3 states, you will meet police in every 5 minutes on the road.
So what must the leadership of the NPF do to tackle this image
What
crisis?
they can do is to discipline their officers. Now today, the most susceptible, the easiest agency to use to oppress the people now is the police. Just get your petition, write to them, they will come and pick another person so far you can finance the process. Do you know, as a lawyer, I have seen places where drivers have stolen my things. I've seen a lot of it. You petition police, they will be asking you for money. Before they will approve your petition. If you don't pay money, I am saying it, any police officer or any IGP or AG that is challenging me to come, we will give evidence.
So that was why I asked if it is about the welfare of the police. It's not about welfare,
it's just about people thinking that, oh, I cannot, no, so politicians are making their own money, I should make my own money here, because they are not being badly treated. Go to any police station today, you want to lay complaint, you buy biro, you buy paper. If another complainant comes, they will still collect money for paper. Meanwhile, there is budget for police every day, every year, that takes care of every police station across the country. You have known the number of police stations in a state. You have factored it in your budget. Where is the money? It's just like prison. You see all prisons congested, lies, and you can't move near it. They are hungry, they are malnourished, they are not fed, underfed. Meanwhile, there is budget for the prisoners every year. Where is the money going to? So the same thing it is with the police. Like police today, you write petition. I have seen a situation, my partner in office was robbed by police. Do you know we wrote petition? The money they ask from us is even more than the amount of money. I stood for a company sometimes, somebody embezzled 2.5 million naira in the company, we wrote petition to police. They asked for 160,000 before they can even approve the petition. After we passed that stage, they okay, come and arrest this person. They said they charged us 2 million. We said no, the raw money is 2.5. They said, but it's a big company, your client is a big company. After so much back and forth, they said anything less than 1.5 they will not arrest. So can a poor man now use police? So it's a very rich institution where you make money.
That's a big question, Mr. Akibulu, but sadly we have to go.
Yes.
I'm happy I had this conversation with you. It was important for us to have this conversation. Yes. And we'll continue to have this conversation so we can have a sane society. Thank you so much for
the only way we can have a sane society, let the police be disciplined, because they are the first force to reckon with.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Kabir Akibulu is a constitutional lawyer. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. That marks the end.